Hello everyone, it's Sandy Bacus here. This is clip number 1 for this week, and it is Wednesday, November 7th. I've got a few things to show you, and then I thought that what I might do is show you some older things that have been finished stitching, but I haven't finally finished them. Because if you're one of the newer subscribers, maybe you haven't seen those before. So I thought I'd drag them out and just show those to you. First, I have a finish, and it is Scarecrow. And I probably should put something behind him so that, and there we go. He's all done. The back stitching is all in. Now I will just have to fully finish him. And I'm thinking maybe a pillow. I think he would look pretty good as a pillow. So that was my finish that I had been working on forever. I think I finished those cross stitches last March. Oh well. Okay, now what I've been working on since, and I got too many things here, since I finished the video on Friday, I worked on Japanese garden. And I think you all have seen the picture, so I didn't drag that out here, but I got what I thought was pretty good progress on Japanese garden. There we go. I worked, let's see, pretty much all of this, all up through here. Just kind of filled in some blocks and then just kept going and made quite a bit of progress. This down here was already done, so it was just basically coming all the way up through there. So this is put away again now, and it will come out again. I had been spinning that decision roulette and it kept coming up with stuff I didn't want to stitch. So I went up there and I looked around and I thought, you know what, I would really like to stitch on Japanese garden. I always love stitching on that. And so I just got it out. I said, okay, this is what we're doing. And I don't think that I did any more on Summer House. Pretty much, I think since Friday, I worked on Japanese garden, and I did some more on Shades of Summer, but I'm in a really heavy confetti area, and I've got it over here in the Q-snap, but I don't think you can really tell much of anything because I have just been filling in confetti throughout this whole area here, and it's very slow going, but I'm plugging away. This is the bottom of the page. And so, and this I think is the side of the page. So I've been trying to get this all filled in here and then come up and fill in down and to get to a page finish. But that whole page is just confetti. So, you know, I've said before, most of the time I don't mind stitching on confetti, but it is slow going, so you don't have a lot of progress to show. Okay, I did, I said I probably didn't stitch on Summer House, so I won't show you that, but I did have a new start. So let me dig that over here. And yeah, that's going to be too much glare. Let me pull this out of this plastic and show you. This is Flower Quaker, and this is from Verbena. The designer is Irina Weber. VEBER. And that is the chart. And I just had a tiny little start on this. It's kind of crooked in the Q-snap. And so that's just started the border there, got this little motif done, and this is like half of this one. So that's it. That's all I got done. And let me put this back over here so that I have things together and I don't end up with a giant mess. Okay, I do have just a little bit of purchases. I needed Kreinik. And what did I do with it? Oh, here it is. I needed Kreinik for Summer House. It has little things spread throughout the whole entire design where it's just one stitch of Kreinik. And it called for Kreinik 3202, I think it was, Cat's Eye. Let's see, does this have the number? Yeah, 3202. It's Kreinik number 4. And right here. And I had to order that from 123 Stitch because I couldn't find Kreinik anywhere. And I never made it to the LNS uptown, and I don't know whether they have a bunch of different Kreinik up there or not. But I needed this, and so I thought, well, I'm going to have to pay shipping and handling, so I might as well order a couple of things. So what I did was I got some, let's see, how's that? It's a little darker than what it's showing on there. It's not going to come up real true, but it's 14 count vintage country mocha Ada. And it's a 18 by 21 inch piece, so I got that. And then I just picked up a few DMT flosses to cover, you know, so I was using the postage. I didn't want to pay $3 and something to have this little thing shipped. Okay, so let me show you a couple of these old finishes that I had. Okay, this, and I'm not sure I'm going to remember the names of all of these, but a lot of you, if you've been watching me for a while, you know that I was working on the Outhouse collection, and this was one of them, and I was doing a stitch along for this one with Sandra Stitches, and she had finished hers way ahead of me. She was calling it Ma and Pa, and I think the actual name of it was Side by Side, and so I finished that one quite a while ago. So I need to, what I need to do is I need to set these out, decide what frames I need for these, and then get these framed up and put them in my bathroom. And the next one, this one was called Occupied. I hope you're able to see that. Without, boy, that maybe if I take this piece of fabric here and put it behind these light Ada fabrics, it kind of, the light just kind of, how's that? Is that a little better? Okay, that's Occupied. And put Occupied over here. And then this one was Fits All Sizes. I think you're able to see that one pretty good. And there were a whole bunch of outhouses in this booklet, and I was going to do more, but I got tired of just stitching outhouses, so I moved on. So I think that I probably will just put these 3 up and then see what happens. Okay, the only other thing, well, I do have those quilt blocks that I did for my daughter, and I still have to, I'm going to do a wall hanging, and I still have to get to that. I'm thinking by Christmas. And then, you know, I'm working on Summer House right now. Well, this was Spring House. And I finished this in the summer. And that's all that I have that hasn't been finished off. If I'm finding everything that I have, which I think I am. So that was it. It's just those 4. So I'll just have to get on those and get those taken care of. Of course, Scarecrow that I just finished, so actually 5. And then I'll have those done. I'm looking around here because I'm trying to see, is there anything that I am forgetting? And I think that's all I had to show you right now. It's been a very rainy, longer than a week, with just some peaks of sunshine every once in a while. And temperature has not been really cold, but wind, oh my gosh, so much wind. We were without power yesterday morning for a couple of hours, and it was wind related, power outages. And just about the time I was starting to think, oh, I'm not going to be able to eat any lunch because everything in my house is electric, the power came back on, so I was able to heat me up some soup and have a piece of toast. So I did get to eat lunch, and last night we went to a church about a half hour away from here. We met my brother and my sister-in-law Lori, and this church does a fundraiser of a Swiss steak dinner every election day. So in May for the primaries, and then in November for the general election, they have this fundraiser. That was a little pricey, but the food was just, it's all home cooking. It was very good, and it's all you can eat. They set you down, call numbers, and you get sat down at a table for 8. And so we were with 2 other couples. And then they just start bringing the food. They bring a bowl of mashed potatoes, a container of gravy, the plate of Swiss steak. They had green beans. They had applesauce. They had coleslaw. They had rolls. And they just keep bringing the more dishes of food until you say you don't want them to bring any more. And you pick up a dessert on the way in. And they had punch and coffee and water, and it was just really good. And then we had to drive home in the dark because the time change, and I'm not used to driving in the dark and with the cataracts. It was interesting. So but it was a good day. And so I'm gonna let you all go now because I'm just chattering away, and I will record another little clip before I put this up. So, see you later. Bye. Hello. It's Saturday, November the 10th. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. So if you see a veteran, thank them. My husband is a Vietnam vet, and so I say thank you to him. I want to get this finished. I was going to wait and do it midweek, but Lori and my brother Chuck and my husband Bob and I are going to go to Hobby Lobby on Monday. And I thought, you know what? I plan to come home from Hobby Lobby with some things. And in fact, we're texting back and forth right now about the plans and everything. So okay. I can get back to her. We're trying to figure out where we're going to eat and stuff like that. Okay. When I did the clip the other day, I showed you some things, but I forgot to mention any of the fabrics or where you could get the charts or any of that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, for people that would be interested in that, I better go back. So really quickly, Scarecrow that I finished, and I don't have him down here right now. I had already put him away upstairs. That chart came from the Big Book of Holidays. It's old. And it was done on 14 count country cream Aida. So if you remember seeing that in the earlier part of this video. Japanese Garden is a Dimensions Gold kit, and I was stitching that on fabric different than what came in the kit. So that was 14 count Touch of Blue Aida by Witchelt. And Summer House, which I'm going to show you again now. This is Summer House. And I've done quite a bit more on Summer House, and I'm going to put the paper behind it because this is, and I didn't iron it, so I apologize. See how much I got done? I think I did quite a bit. I mean, I finished all this all the way down to here, and then I went over here and I stitched up in here, and I'm coming down, and I have put a little bit over in here. So I'm coming right along on this. If you remember, this is my focus on a finished project, and looking at what I have done there, by saying that I hope to get this done by the end of November. As long as I keep working on it, I think that's doable. This is the fabric that originally came in the Japanese Garden kit, and because I've played with it so much and everything, it has softened way up. It's 16 count light blue Aida, so it worked out well for this. Okay, then I had shown you just a little bit on Shades of Summer, and that is Artisy Design. It's white, 14 count Aida, and I put a few more stitches into it, but you can't really tell because, as I said, this is all confetti, and I'm just trying to keep filling in so I can get down and keep going down each one of these columns, and so that I can get a page finish. And I'm not sure whether this up here is the edge. I think it is. I think this is the edge of the page. Let me see if the pattern is right there that I can glance at. Oh, wrong page. Let me see. I got too many pages out here. I'm sorry. I should have been prepared. Yes, that is the edge. So if I can get all those blocks filled in, completed, that'll be a page finish. And then I can move on somewhere else. Okay, next. Okay. And I didn't tell you about the fabric on the Flower Quaker. I didn't do anything more on it. So that's what it looked like. This is 14 count Amber Aida. And I told you in the first clip, the chart is by Irina Weber, or Weber probably. Okay, now let me see where I'm at as far as catching up here. I talked about those. And I did do a little bit on Glory of Autumn. And let me get, this is a Dimensions kit. And I had just a tiny little start on that. And I just worked on this for a little bit last night and a little bit this morning. So there's a few more stitches in there. And this is the upper left-hand corner. So I'll probably work on that for another day or two before I move on to something else. I'm not too well put together today. I have a lot of things on my mind. I'm trying to work through some stuff, and so it's just, you know. Okay, I wanted to tell you about my spreadsheet I did. I'm pretty good at Excel spreadsheets because I worked with Excel spreadsheets all the time when I was working. And let me start over. Originally, when I first started working on multiple projects, I was taking a little card and listing the floss and putting it on a bulletin board next to where I keep my floss boxes. And then when I was going to kit up something else, I could look and see if I had that floss out in some other project. Well, then I went a little crazy and I started all the things, and I had so many, and I had stopped writing on those cards. So when I would go to kit something up, I had no idea whether, I'd go to my floss box, and if it wasn't there, I had no idea whether I had it somewhere else or not. And then in between, I was also borrowing from one project to put into another project, and I was trying to leave notes, and it was getting out of control. So I thought, I need to know if I have like 6 skeins of this floss divided out into 6 different projects, and then I go to kit something else up and it calls for that, and it's not in the box. Do I really need to go and buy another one? No, I need to know if I've got it, and in some of those projects, maybe I'm only going to use a tiny bit, and then I'll have all these, half to almost full skeins of floss. So I thought that's wasteful, and especially since I'm not going to be stitching another 50 years. So I thought I need a way to track this. So I thought if I check my box and it's not in the box, then I know I don't have it in the box. But so what I did was I did an Excel spreadsheet, and I put a little key over to one side, and for instance, Summer House, I gave it an abbreviation of SUM, and then I put SUM equals Summer House. Then along the top of the Excel spreadsheet, then the SUM would go up there. And then I used my DMC booklet that lists all the flosses, and down the side of the spreadsheet, I listed all the floss numbers. So then I could just go down that column, and if I took each project out and went through the flosses that were in the project, and I actually went through the flosses in the project, not just looking at the sheet, because if I have robbed that floss from there, it might be on the sheet, but it doesn't mean it's in the project. So I went through each one. If I had a good amount of it in there, I put an X in that block. If I had just a tiny amount, I put a little star in there. After I had gone through all of them, then I went back through that list, since I'm going to Hobby Lobby on Monday, went back through that list, and I made a list of all the flosses that I should purchase because they're getting low, and there's not a whole lot in other projects. And there was also, I have been 520 and 524, I have been robbing back and forth between 2 or 3 different projects. So I thought I definitely know I need to buy more 520 and 524. And so, I just made a list like that. So I'll have that when I go to Hobby Lobby. If anybody wants more information on that, or maybe a screenshot of what the top looks like, or anything, if you think it would be helpful for you and you want further information, let me know, and we'll see what we can work out to get you some information on that. Okay, I'm not going to do thank yous this time to my commenters, and here's the reason why. As you've left comments, I have read them. Some of them got hearted. Some of them I actually typed back a reply. But this has been kind of a crazy week. Things have been going back and forth, and I've been trying to do too many things. Had a lot of stuff going through this old brain up here, and the wheels don't turn as quickly as they used to. And so I haven't made the list yet of who commented. I haven't even gone through and hearted all of them yet. I read them on my phone, but my phone does not work well for putting the hearts on them. I try it, and it shows up as red heart, and then within 2 seconds it's gone. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's my phone, maybe it's whatever, I don't know. But thank you to everybody who commented. And I will get to those, and we'll do them all next time. All right, what was the next thing? Oh, I told you about, I showed you those outhouses, but I didn't give you any of the information. I just said outhouse collection. I'm going to put that in the show notes below. It was Stoney Creek, and it's a booklet, and I'll put that down there. Got a couple of pictures here to show you. I'm getting good comments about the pictures. Most everybody is saying that they really enjoy seeing the old pictures. If you don't, you can just kind of maybe skip ahead right now. I'm only going to show 3 pictures, so it won't take very long. And if, what was the other thing? Oh, geez, it was just in my head. Oh, I had asked about whether you like short videos, medium videos, long videos. The general consensus so far of all the comments that I've read is that for a lot of people it doesn't really matter. But they mostly like ones that are in that, like I do, in that half an hour to an hour time frame. They said if it's over an hour and it's somebody that they really enjoy watching, they don't have a problem with it. I know personally what I find myself doing sometimes, if somebody has like a whole lot of haul and they're showing chart after chart after chart or fabric after fabric, I don't need any more enabling. I've probably got more now than I can stitch in the rest of my lifetime. So I kind of will tend to just go a little forward and then see if they're talking about something else. And I don't ever just end out the video because they're showing haul, but I may just go ahead a little bit. If it's just a few charts they're showing, I have no problem looking. But when it's, 15 or 20 minutes of haul, I don't need to see all that. It just makes me want the stuff. So we'll just skip that part. All right, the pictures. All right, what I did was I went back to the 1970s now, and I'm kind of going to go through a few photo albums that I have, and we'll kind of keep these in chronological order for the next few weeks. And again, if you hate the pictures, just go a little ahead. But picture number 1, this is me and my daughter, Christy. This was not long after she was born. You can kind of tell that initial baby kind of blank look. This would be in August. Her birthday is August 19th, so this is probably still in August of 1974. The next picture is Halloween of 1974. And you can see she's not real happy. Okay. And the next one, this is probably closer to Christmas in 1974. And this is my daughter. Let's see, I gotta get my finger where I can point here, and you know how hard that is. Okay. Here's my daughter. And this, on this side, opposite her, this is Gabriel. Gabriel is my nephew. This was my brother Chuck and his first wife, or no, actually his second wife. He's married to his third wife now. This was Chuck and Jackie's son, Gabriel. He was 17 days older than my daughter. He was born on August 2nd. She was born on August 19th. And then back here is Matthew, and Matthew was born in September of 1972. So he's just about exactly 2 years older, and they're brothers. their mother, their dark coloring comes from their mother is an American Indian. So that's all I've got for this time. Next time we'll skip a little bit ahead and see what we've got. I'm going to close this one out for now and send everybody out hugs and love, and anything that you need, I'm sending it to you. It snowed here last night. We got up this morning and you could still see the grass peeking through, but it did a pretty good job of covering. And we've got snow flurries out there now, so it's cold. I'm not ready for this yet, but it's cold and pretty windy. I don't think that wind has stopped blowing yet. It just, you could look out there and you can just see the trees. We still have some leaves on the trees. They haven't all fallen off yet, and I'm surprised, as hard as that wind has blown at times. But what's that? It is what it is. You gotta live with it one way or the other. There's no getting around it. Weather's weather. So, like I said, I'm gonna let y'all go. Take care. Keep the frog away. We don't need any frogs. And I will see you again with whatever it is I buy at Hobby Lobby. So I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.